How you doing? How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Now, why'd you answer when I asked them?
Because I wasn't sure who you're talking to. We got a whole audience out there. Maybe you're going one by one. How are you doing? And how are you doing? And how are you doing?
Romper room.
Yeah.
I see Corey. And I see Ashley.
Yeah, see, that's really what this is. This is Romper room.
They never said my name. That always upsetted me.
And I see Dawn.
And welcome to Wolf Farms. I'm Dawn, also known as Knittin' Wolf in all the social medias.
And I'm James, also known as Wolf Photo. This podcast is brought to you by Wolf Farms. You can find us on the internet at wolffarms.net. We have a scent of the month every month in our shop, and for the month of October, it is candy corn. So you can get 25% off candy corn, anything in our shop that is scented in that, or flavored, because we have lip balm, candy corn lip balm. 25% off, plus we have other sale items, so swing on by. I'm sure you'll find something you'll enjoy. Plus, coming up into the holiday season, shopping at Walmart today, and they have all their Christmas stuff out already.
Wow.
I know. It's just October. Halloween hasn't happened. Thanksgiving, they've got all their Christmas stuff out. I'm like, wow. Pretty soon they'll just leave it out all year. You can buy your Christmas tree in February. So, but anyways, hi. Thanks for joining us today. I want to welcome new and returning viewers. We got a number of things on our list to go over.
And those include farm happenings in the coop, squeal like a pig in the arena, and Roundup.
Can you tell she's kind of in a mood today? It's going to be an interesting podcast. So, farm happening.
I have filters.
I know. It's called James. I kick you under the table. So what do we got going this week?
Farm happenings?
Yeah, farm happenings. We had a couple things.
I did homeschool paperwork. Oh, a joy.
Yeah, always fun. I did Friday was Dundee.
Poor Dunder Kicks.
He went to visit the vet.
Sacks.
Yeah. He went there and came back with a couple less appendages. But so
he had a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, he
was neutered. He was microchipped, and
he had a scratch that he had checked out, and got a shot. Yeah, he went in for the full service treatment.
Yeah.
It's like taking it to your mechanic and say, go through and do everything you need to do. Well, he had it all done.
Well, it was quite interesting because the week before you took him on an excursion, and he sat in a truck. Good. He said he was quiet.
He was great. I mean,
I take him Friday. I hit every red light, and it's going to school time. So every corner has kids, and he is like, or barking at them, people. Get into the vet, and he is mommy's protector. This cat lady came in. It's because she had a ton of cats. Even the vet tech called her cat lady. And she kept yakking to me and getting closer and closer. And he's on my side. I'm over where there's nobody at, just so he'll be good. Yeah. He's a 6-month-old puppy. And he's sitting right up against me. And cattle dogs, Queensland Heelers, Australian Shepherds, their instinct is to herd. They get you in some spot and they'll push. Or they're just up against you, It's just...
That's what they do.
And even with the training I do with him, I keep him that way. On my left, blah, blah, blah. And so he's sitting there up against me, and she keeps getting closer. And he's like, this low under his breath, and I'm like, she goes, oh, he's just verbal. And I'm like, he's telling you to move. And she's, yap, and he's getting, and I'm like, you need to back it up, Yeah.
He's funny because he has different sounds for everything. So he's got the playful bark, he's got the warning bark. He's a really good guard dog. Yeah, I mean, he's like in tune with everything, and so he's got different barks, and it's funny because we were talking about that the other day about
because if there's a car parked out here compared to someone on their bicycle compared to just barking at the neighbor dogs, you can...
Or the playful, he gets a really high-pitched bark when he's playing and excited, and...
It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, and if he wants your attention, he'll also growl, but it's a different growl.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, he's like, hey, pay attention to me. 6-month-old, he's like...
It's more of a talk than a growl. It's not
It's a gurgle. I don't know. He just, it's funny because he won't bark right away. He usually gets followed up by a bark because he doesn't get attention quick enough sometimes. But, yeah, so he's...
I'm supposed to keep him calm.
For 2 weeks.
No running, no jumping, no form of exercise except for a little leash walk. This is a 6-month-old puppy.
He is full of energy.
Cattle dogs are very active dogs. I mean, you don't let them get bored.
Yeah.
If they get bored, they're going to find something to do. They need a job, so it's this only day 2.
Well, here's the thing. We had, we were thinking ahead. This dog is rambunctious. We want to protect our legs, right? So, every time they go in and get some surgery, they put the cone of shame on there, right? The big old cone. And we thought, well, hey, we heard that there's a little inflatable one that keeps them, but it's soft and it's, we got one. Here's the thing. He's like 16 inches around his neck right now. They make a small, which goes to 13. They make a large, which starts at 18. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. He's an average medium-sized dog. They don't have a size that fits him. And so we got the large, tried that on. No, doesn't fit him. It's going to fall right off his head. Got the small, it fits him, but he can still lick where he's not supposed to lick. And so we're like, he came back and it's like, no, that's not working. So we had to go back up to the vet and we went in and got one of the cones of shame.
Yeah, I haven't shown you the back of my legs.
I know. And he's like a bulldozer now. Because now he's got a big scoop on his head and he's just going to run at you. And so you're getting clipped in the leg. He's clipping the door. He's clipping the walls. He's just like everything. Because he does not slow down. I mean, he's not I've got something on my head, so I better walk a little slower. He's just like, and I think it bugs him too because he can only hear forward now. He doesn't, because it blocks the sound. So he hears, we'll talk behind him and he'll start moving forward wherever he's looking because he's hearing it that way. So we did that for a day.
No, we had to because you and I weren't here to supervise.
Yeah, so we went through that for a day and we thought, hey, well, we'll be home. We can watch him. So we'll take it off. It'll save our legs.
He was crying, not pain cry. He
whimpering.
Fussy cry.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, it's me.
I don't like this cone is what he's telling us. And so we decided to take it off and he has actually left his
privates.
His stitches alone. He hasn't, it really hasn't bothered him. So we're, as long as we can keep an eye on him.
Yeah. At
night he sleeps, so it's not too bad when he settles down. So he's been good without it. So I think we're going to try and go without it, because it's so much easier on the legs when he comes barreling to you and you go...
Or the eyeball at night.
Oh, yeah. You got the big cone. Got to see what mommy's doing. So he's doing good. But he's like, you think this is supposed to calm him down. It doesn't. He is still just full of energy.
He uses our living room, our family room. We have a circular couch.
He's
half circle.
He's a NASCAR dog. He's doing ovals. He's doing ovals. I mean, he'll tear through there and he'll go around the couch and pick up a toy and he'll run and drop it down and he'll come around and pick it up and he'll just do circles. And this is usually only when I get home. He's calm all the rest of the day.
Yeah, he doesn't.
When I get home, it's like, turn on the switch. Dad's home. Hey, let's get all excited. And then, so usually after you get ready to go to bed, he'll just lay down on the tile and cool down. But now it's like, I'm home. So Dad's home. I got to run around. So yeah, so he's doing good. He's actually laying down. We get him settled in and it never failed. Last night, we get him to actually calm down, lay down, and Jimmy comes out and starts, ooh, play with him. It's like, Jimmy, we just got him to lay down. Because it takes 20 minutes for him to kind of get bored where he just kind of settle, you know. So, yeah, but they get him some new toys, though. Got a couple new Frisbees. He loves Frisbees. That's it. A couple new chew toys. Yeah.
He loves showing the sticker off that they stick on him.
Yeah, it bugs him just as much as it bugs us, but we'll let him have the fun of taking it off. So, but he's got teeth. He's got like human teeth. His teeth are straight. This dog
he's got pretty teeth.
He's got, you know, he could be a model dog, you know, but he can pinch, you know, and so
like
he can get down there and get that sticker off with his teeth. It's funny because he does that. But if he smiles, he's got his nice white straight teeth. So. Okay, well.
so next dog story is Fuji. She had her chemo appointment yesterday, and it was a new drug for her, and it's still in the same family of the one that they do the EKG with. Mm-hmm. So it does affect the heart and liver, kidneys.
It doesn't affect the heart. The old drug affects the heart. The new one doesn't, and that's why they use this as like an alternate. But you know, the vet was saying that this, you know, works almost better than the other one. But, you know, she was explaining that she has, you know, because they don't only give the other drug that she was getting initially so many times. And once, you know, you hit that threshold, you can't give it anymore. Well, she's explaining that she's actually not going to the end. She's actually she's stopping us midway through the number of, you know, rounds she can do with that, just in case this other one doesn't either work or it gets to the point where, you know, she's got options now, you know. So she's explaining that she's kind of keeping some in reserve just in case we need them, but this one works, you know, sometimes even better than that one, and, you know, but it's in the same family. So she had this new one, so it's kind of, you know, a little get concerned when it's a new something she hasn't been.
Well, because the reactions are not instant with the chemo drugs. They can be from 5 to 10 days out a reaction. You know, all of a sudden you're on your 7th day and boom, you know, there could be a reaction, which is what's the scary part because you're waiting.
Yeah, you gotta sit there and keep an eye on it, and you know, it's like 4 days out, and then you start seeing the side effects. Yeah. You know, it's not usually
instantaneous.
An instant thing. And, you know, because Fuji's liver values have been a little kidney values have been on the high side. They give her extra
they gave her a
fluids.
whole different IV of fluids. And so that helps flush it out quicker, so there's not as much damage to, or, you know, effect to the kidneys. So, liver was down.
Yeah. So... So we're down there for the our appointment, and, you know, she kind of goes over the blood work. You know, she sits down, and I mean, just we kind of chat around a bit, you know, and she sits down and kind of goes over the blood work and kind of what the plan is, and then she goes.
But then she still had Fuji's file, and she's looking like this, and she goes, and she's like, something I'm really not wanting to tell you.
And it's like,
you know, and I'm like
panic mode.
And she goes, it's kind of not good news. Well, you start thinking of all these
she's
things.
Looking through the file of your dog.
You know, I'm like, okay, you just said everything was good. Everything's looking good, you know.
And you know by the numbers everything looks good. Yeah. So it's like.
But I'm thinking, okay, is she moving? Is she quitting because she does have a physical illness? Is something wrong with her with that? Or, you know, and I'm like, you know, and then she says, you know, the end of October 25th is my last day, and, you know, you're still like, oh my God, is she moving too far away? As, you know, I'm like, because she's from Chicago, you know, is she moving back there? You know, so you're panicking, yes.
Yeah. She went in.
Full panic. I was.
Deer in the headlights look on her face, like.
Tears in my eyes, you know, it's like.
But
she's actually coming closer. She's going to a different emergency clinic that is, she's starting it from the ground up.
Well, it's an emergency clinic that they're adding in specialty type veterinary care. And so she's going to that new, to this new vet to start up the oncology department for that. So she'll basically be in control of what's going on, but it's actually good for us because it's actually closer. Not a whole lot. It's like hour and a half instead of 2 hours drive. You know, it's still down in LA area, but so she's heading over there at the end of October, and so we'll you know, I know Dawn's really comfortable with her about how she handles, you know, Fuji's care.
Well, I have her cell phone, I have her text, I have her email, you know, every way possible to get hold of her.
Yeah, you know? and she's pretty much been handling Fuji's care since the start. We had seen another vet that's actually going to cover her stuff when she leaves. We saw him once or twice. Mm-hmm. And then the head of the whole VCA office that we go to now, we've seen him once, but every other time it's been her. And so we're going to just follow her over to the new vet. At least she's staying in the area, you know, so that we can still go and, you know, get the same kind of care. The medicine's the same. It's just a different office. Basically.
Well, and she knows Fuji, you know, all the reactions, any kind of, she knows it all, you know, so it's like,
yeah. Plus, she's willing to talk. She gives us a whole, you know, tells us kind of what's going on in the care, you know, the
whole
research and stuff like that, which Dawn loves that kind of stuff. And she's willing to kind of share what's coming down the line with that and how, you know, the differences and the similarities. There's a melanoma. The dogs get, you know, humans get melanoma is skin cancer, but dogs actually get melanoma elsewhere. And she was explaining to us because she was talking about another dog that she had to treat.
She given it a vaccine,
yeah,
melanoma vaccine. Because I'm thinking, sign me up. Because
well, she's saying in the humans and the dogs, the body doesn't detect melanoma as being foreign, and so the body doesn't fight it. But she says the difference between humans and dogs is this one enzyme. And so that they inject the enzyme into the dog, which then goes to the melanoma, then the body recognizes that that's a foreign object and the body starts to fight it. So that's how they actually
and it's not an injection, it's an
air shot. It actually goes through the skin without a needle, because she said that the needles sometimes even react to the shots.
It causes tumors.
That cause tumors. Yeah. So it's like, you get all, it's like, this is interesting. The science of it all is great. I wish I didn't have to know any of this or learn any of it because of Fuji, but the science behind what they're doing and the advancements that they're making, and, you know, because she's, you know, they go to the same conferences that the normal doctors do.
Normal oncologists. Yeah. It's all the same medicines.
There's a lot of similarities between what they do for animals and what they do to humans. It's the same drugs and all that stuff. So that was kind of interesting. So we're going to, at the end of October, the way it's going to work is probably in November we'll actually go down there for the first time because of the schedule of Fuji's going on. She's reached her halfway point, which is a good thing. So we're halfway done with this round. And so they start to space out the following treatments by 2 weeks and some of the stuff we do at home. So
so we still won't be done till February, March, but this is considered the halfway point. And
that's
because the first half
they count. You get them every week, and now it spreads out to every 2 weeks. So it's actually length, you know, duration wise is still, we're 1/3 done, but it's technically half the treatments are done. So, but we'll be going to the new vet center to follow the doctor who's been caring for Fuji. So that's a little bit of a change, a little shocking how it came up. And but I guess some of the vet assistants that work with her are going to follow her over there as well. So, you know, so it'll be kind of the same team for the most part. You know, there's a couple that aren't leaving because they live close to that vet and have kids and stuff. But so it's a change, but at least we get to stick with the same doctor and we kind of know what to expect with that. And, you know, I don't expect any difference in care, and you know.
Well, and it's not like, you know, she has insurance that we can't, dogs.
It's not like you're stuck at Kaiser or something like that, or, you know, whatever, Blue Cross or whatever. So, you know, it is what it is. We'll follow her along and be done with it. Yeah. So, So, what? You okay?
I'm okay.
Okay. You give me a...
Why did I look funny?
Yeah, you did.
You gonna talk about your carburetor?
Oh, yeah. I got back from Fuji appointment, and I was working on one of the tractors because one of our Olivers, the carburetor float keeps sticking, which makes the carburetor flood, and it doesn't run, and it's a whole mess. And I had bought a new carburetor, but that one doesn't fit, so I got to send it back. So while I was working on it, I thought, well, I'll go ahead and clean it up. So I took the carburetor apart and got it all cleaned up a bit. Put it, was getting back together. Fired it up and was trying to get it tuned up. And while I was working on the carburetor, I raised my hands as I was tuning it, and I hit the exhaust manifold as it was running. So I burnt the back of my 2 fingers. You want to see some burns. I burnt the back of my 2 fingers while I was working on it. It actually doesn't hurt at all. And I'm glad it's on the back of my fingers because I don't ever use them. If it was on the front, it would be a pain. But yeah, I just got to pay a little more attention because in the tractor, the carburetor actually sits below the exhaust manifold. So I was trying to get in there and do the adjustments to get it running right, and just a quick second, it's like, so I got an owie. I kiss my owie, make it better. Come in, put some ice on it. It's okay. I mean, it's a little bit of blister, but yeah, it really I don't even feel it, but.
What if you knocked it into something?
Yeah, it is what it is. I probably have less feeling on the back of my hand than I do on my fingertips. So at least I'm not. I would bug me if I had it on my paws.
On your pads.
So yeah, I was like, and so I gotta. And the bad thing is I gotta send the new carburetor I got back because it's not the right model for the carburetor I got. It's like, so I gotta get a different one. So. Yeah, it's not a big deal. When it comes, it's not like I drive it to work every day.
So what else you been doing?
What else I've been doing? Oh, okay. Are we going into that now?
I didn't know where to throw it in.
Oh, okay. I didn't either. It's not on the list. But I did mention last week that I was going to start making Orifice hooks for those that do spinning. Much similar to the cable needles that I've been making. So... Unfortunately, I mentioned I might get it in earlier during last week, and that didn't happen. Just busy. So I actually will get some of these listed up, but let me show you kind of what... this is the Orifice hook. I guess we just kind of need that. It's about 6 inches long. I do have a little decorative thing on there, and then a hoop that you can use to, hang it from your spinning wheel or whatever. So it's about 6 inches long. With a tight hook, you should be able to get that in and out of your wheel to pull through your lead yarn when you're doing your spinning. So that should be in the shop. Like I said, I'll see what I can get up. This we'll have the butterfly one, which is.
Wonder how big the holes are. I just thought of that.
That's why I made it tight. Because it's probably
my wheel doesn't have that. It has
yours is a little easier to thread through. But I remember we had to use one when you were looking at
testing them.
Yeah. So this should work. It's made out of the same rigid metal. It shouldn't bend on you unless you really wrench it. But it should stay in its shape. And so we'll put those in the shop. And like I said, hopefully that. If you have a need for one, you'll have a decorative attachment onto it that you enjoy. But I figured I'll start with the butterfly and we'll go from there. So that is now in the shop. But that was something I was working on as well. So that's finally done. So we'll look for it in the shop.
So in the coop?
In the coop.
In the coop, I put a square each day on my Scrappy Happy blanket. And these are all from Filipa in Portugal. So we have green. I think the green was. I think these are all hers. Now I can't remember. I'm pretty sure.
Performance anxiety.
I know, I did. As soon as I said it, I'm like, oh, was this
you're second guessing.
Sasha's? But I think I'm done with Sasha. These are definitely all because this one was Filipa's. these are all for Lupa. So yeah, it's really fun. You know, it was really cool, a cool morning for this fall one, so it all kind of, you know, fell together. And there's some gnome acres that I didn't have in here, so that's fun to get those different colors, and it's just enjoyable to
Felipa from Portugal orders gnome acres from the U.S. and then sends it back to you.
I know.
It's like it's a world traveler. It's seen a lot of miles.
Oh, that's true, huh? Pretty neat.
Cool. Mm-hmm.
And then my Groovy Socks, and that's a mitered square blanket. I call it my Scrappy Happy blanket because I've been doing it forever. And it's a Shelley King pattern. And so that's...
Yeah, you're almost done with that, right? Only got a couple more squares.
I don't know. I have it so folded up because... And then these are the Groovy Socks, and I finished the ribbing on this one. So this is a completed one.
Awesome. Very colorful.
It's like those... I'm playing
pinwheel.
And then I cast on the other one just to get it on the needles and
get her going.
So, yeah.
So that's kind of like a, what is that, a hoe?
That's a hoe.
That's your hoe?
That's a hoe.
And then you're doing that out of lollipop yarn. I always remember that.
Good job. Hootenanny colorway.
There you go.
So, yeah. And it's in a Snoopy bag, Snoopy fall bag. I have no idea, because this was a Wool Girl Club kit many, many moons ago. So, but it's
but
fall,
you got your
y'all.
fall. I know. I was gonna say you
fall,
got your fall colors down there.
So then the other, my 10 stitch of crazy, Dawn made me do it. hashtag is the 10 stitch miter square blanket by Frankie Brown. And all these are always linked and attached everywhere. And so I'm moving my needle. So where's my dicky-doo? I finished this color, this Halloween No Makers. Went into this one.
Looks like tiger
over
stripes.
Here. Yeah. These are all Halloween. And then up here, and then I'm starting another color. So, yep.
Well, you're the size of a dishcloth now, and
yeah.
Pretty soon it'll cover our living room.
There is a video, Pink Catnits or something, that you can watch a million times, but she never really says to repeat. Oh, yarn down, man. That's going to unravel all over. She never says to repeat the triangle. So that's one thing in order to make the square edge. So I know that's a problem.
Well, I know you mentioned that some people had found that comment helpful, and they were able to do it because it wasn't clearly explained.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
I just kind of
Help you out.
tossed that around.
Line your ball up.
And then, let's see, I did a little bit on our shared project. I have all the links for these and I haven't even been showing. This is the hilah brook by Paula Emons Feasley.
See, at least you remembered your iPad.
I know. And we are doing it in the Knitter's Nightmare Fuji's Apple colorway. And I say we, if you're new to the podcast, this is a shared project that James and I are each doing. He has one section of the pattern, I have the other section, because this is for our Chihuahua Fuji who's going through lymphoma treatment. So, and it's in our Stitch by Sasha Fuji bag, which is also for Fuji, and she has these in her shop too. Stitched by Sasha. Did I say that?
I think you mentioned
I'll say it again.
Say it
Stitched
again.
by Sasha. So I did just the lace part, just a wee bit, because we had chemo this week, so we kind of do it on that kind of. You can see it big. So, and hilahs are little frogs, which that's Fuji's favorite toy. So it all
comes together. Yeah.
So, and since I'm mentioning no stitched by Sasha, I'll show you that she has the wristlet Fuji bag, she has the large drawstring and stitch markers and in her shop. And she also has cute Halloween ones too. So, go check her out.
Always gotta have bags.
Gotta have the bags. And then in my Naughty Knitter bag that Angelia sent me, some more Snoopy, I have the Irish coffee, and this is for our Thea Coleman knit along that started, so I had to cast on. And here's that. It's a lot of cables and form-fitting. I'm going to make it more form-fitting than this. I'm going to be tweaking it.
Well, I know you're gonna make it fit.
Yeah, I want it to,
how you want it to fit.
So, and this is in Blue Moon. No, it
Your
isn't.
gargantuan
Yeah.
skein.
It's not Blue Moon. Yes, it is. I know Sasha's,
too many
Sasha
yarns.
is yelling at me because I screwed it up last week. Blue Moon Fiber Arts in the Targhee worsted. 100% Targhee, 616 yards in the Enchanted Forest.
That is one big old skein.
Yeah, I was scared that my ball winder wouldn't wind it, but it was a little bit bigger. And then it kind of smells. It's got a vinegary smell, so I'm like, woof. And I do this in a lot of my bags. I take our sample soaps and we mail these out, with orders. And I clip the edges. I don't know if you can see that. I clip the edges so you can get the smell. And I stick them in my knitting bags and lingerie drawer, wherever you need a stick up. That totally reminded me of high school, but never mind. So, because I keep smelling this yarn and I'm like, ooh, stinky. So that's a little tip for our Wolf Farm stuff that I do. Also, I use the little samples for, instead of using soak or Euclid, I rub a little bit of it in the water when you need to block your projects or soak them. And also, the oils we use soften the yarn. So if it's a scratchy wool, it softens it up. And I do a rinse, whereas soak you don't really rinse, but I think Euclid you do. I'm not sure. There's one of them that you need to rinse it. I can't remember which one. And I like soak, but I do use our little bars when I'm wanting a certain smell. So that's another use. Yep. So I cast this on the other day, and I only knitted a little bit. I wanted to get further, but there's been a few days that there's no knitting. So this is a top down. So you start at the neck, and that's the V-neck. And her patterns are fabulous because each step, she goes, okay, if you want, depending on your bust size, how far you want the V, she puts suggestions. If you're like a D cup, you
give it some room.
We don't have that problem. So I did the 2.5 inches, and then she suggests, different before you start the cabling, because there's ribbing and then where you want the cabling to start, also dealing with the breast size and, where in your body that's going to, if you want them accented or not so much, or
how tight and form fitting.
So it's really wonderful how she suggests it's a magnet for cat hair. And these white cat, I don't know if you can see Cosmo. He's our black and white cat. He's the one taking up the third chair.
He's a little bit of fuzz you see right here. He's napping.
So that's interesting, and I'm still doing the
shoulder,
the arm increases. So so there's stitch markers to know when to do the increases, when to do the cable area.
Well,
So even a beginner on her patterns, the patterns are long, but they're very spelled out step by step. There are times, like in this one, that you're doing the increases, but you're only doing it every fourth row.
You've got a lot of things going on.
So you need a counter for that. You need to know, when you're going to be doing certain things, because the numbers are not matching up. Like if you're on your fourth row, it's not the fourth row in the cable. Your cable is going to have a different row count. So, and then you need to repeat this other thing 4 times. So you've got all these, you're balancing. I mean, you have to pay attention, but she has it very well spelled out. Cool. So if you follow along, I think her patterns are really good. You can do it.
Step through it and just pay attention to what you're doing.
You can't just watch TV or, I'm sure there's going to be points in this. You can, okay, I'm past there. Now it's just
rounds,
knitting and so.
Well, one thing, I know you were wanting a different colorway. I actually like that colorway.
I do too. So. I'm glad I got this because I was going for a more brighter green, but this dark is going to really show the cables.
It shows the accents and stuff.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I like the blend. That's a nice colorway.
Yeah.
A different green. You don't normally go for the darker ones.
No.
But it looks good.
Yeah. So it's fun. I'm doing it on size 8, and I knew I would be using a size 8, and I swatched with a 7. And I'm like, why aren't I getting the right amount of stitches per inch? And I'm like, this isn't making sense because I've knit another one of her patterns, which is, I just love it to pieces, the Cassis. And, I use the same needle she suggests, and I look down and it's like, wrong needle size.
Oops.
Yeah. So I re-swatched and, got the right gauge, but when knitting attacks. That's from the Knit More Girls. Especially when your head's up your butt, it attacks. And for this knit along, I'll go ahead and, since I've already mentioned Stitch by Sasha, and if you're making a drinking game, every time I say Stitch by Sasha. So, forget the knitting game. It's the candy corn game. You have to eat a candy corn.
Oh, there you go.
Every time I say Stitch by Sasha. She donated a prize and for the Thea Coleman knit along, and also because I've been doing these 2 months, so October, November. I'm just going to extend this out because she has a lot of sweaters, and I know a lot of people are wanting to do the sweaters. We'll just go ahead, extend it out till the end of December because we don't really have no knit-alongs planned. So might as well just give us all an extra month, especially with all the holidays.
Yeah, you get busy and...
Yeah, so Sasha donated this medium-sized bag with the little mini.
Awesome.
I love these. So,
a little notion container.
So this is a super duper prize, and the more entries, the more prizes will be added. So to keep that in mind, that's why certain ones of the knit-alongs we've had more prizes compared to, like this last knit-along, we're only doing 1 prize because we didn't even get a full page. So
we kind of gauge it on, so if we get a big, amount of entries, then we can give out more prizes so that, everybody has a better chance, depending on the number of responses we get. So.
Yep. So squeal like a pig. I'm all over the place. Squeal like a pig. I won a prize off of the Knit Psycho podcast. Here it is. And it was a pattern. And it's the, she lets you choose. So I chose the Margarita by Thea Coleman. I love her patterns. I got to show you the back of this. It's just so pretty. Maybe I won't show you the back of this because it's not loading.
Coming along.
There it is. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And I have a sweater by Nora Gone that I did years ago in a pretty green that it's huge, because I made it when I was quite bigger. And I've never, it was a horrible pattern.
Whole other story.
The Oregon book I had bought, the errata was thicker than the book.
So no proofreading before they published.
Oh no.
Why do that? You get it out quicker that way.
Exactly. So it's a green, and the increases, I've never been happy with it because the increases she had me do in the pattern showed every single one, no matter how much I blocked this different ways, and
yeah, you've never been happy with that.
So I'm gonna frog that and use the yarn for this, something that I'm happy with. And I know Bunnyfish of the Bunnyfish Craft podcast, she's having a frog it. Go to her group because it's a finish it or frog it, and I have that. What was that other palm to pin?
Oh,
that sweater I knitted. Was this the third time? Because I first had like 8 inches. I frogged it. I did, and
you had a hard
another the full back. I frogged it.
So it just
so
reminds
it's on the
you,
third one, and it's done except for I don't like it. So that's going to get frogged, but I need to enter it in her podcast. So,
well, there you go.
So yeah, I'm going to be on the frogging.
So you only need to buy 3 skeins of yarn. You just knit
just
it up and then you
reuse it.
back it out. And you don't need end results. You just need to get and knit.
So thank you so much, Amanda, and. Touching my thing. So, and then this blew me away this week. And this is from Linda. She is Quill Knitter on Ravelry. And she sent me this shawl. It is done in fishnets. She's in the fishnets group. And this is the Fuji gradient. Whoop! I thought you had it.
I thought I did too.
The pattern is Saturn's Ring Shawl and done in the Fuji gradient. And she sent it to me.
Pretty awesome.
Just because it's like, I was blown away because, she's not even in our Wolf Farm group. I don't even know if she watches any podcasts. So that was, to have someone that I don't even know, it's just and it's beautiful and so soft and, because Jody dyes gorgeously. How do you like that new word? So it's just amazing to.
That's just awesome.
Yeah. So now I can wear it.
Cool.
Yeah, it's very special. Those were my Squeal like a pig. And now we move into In the Arena. So in the arena this week, I don't even know where I found, I guess I was just busy doing things and I'd flip on a new podcast. I was finding the new podcast. The first one is Yarnder Woman, and she has an awesome graphic. It's little...
Like Wonder
Woman, Yarnder Woman. Her name's Yarnder Woman on Ravelry. Her real name is Melinda. And she has a Ravelry group, so you can find all her links in order to watch her podcast. And she has different pop culture things, and she'll show different brooches because she collects brooches. And so it's always interesting to see, because we all talk about knitting, but we all bring in a little bit
of our own
little selves, and so it's neat. That's why there's so many knitting podcasts, but they're all so different, and so that makes it nice. Because if we were all the same, that would be boring.
That's true.
The next podcast I found is The Corner of Knit and Tea, and that's with Fluffy K on Ravelry, and her little thing that she brings in is about tea. So she shows different tea. On her blog, she has done reviews like comparing tea mug things with the infusers. So comparing like Tivana against, what was the other one? I know Adagio has one, but I don't think it was an Adagio one. But it's neat seeing, what she thinks, because one is glass and you have to take the infuser out in order to drink. So that gives you a different.
You like your tea.
I like my tea. I am a tea snob though too. So
that's right up your alley.
Yeah. And her spinning is gorgeous. So you can go watch her. I will link her. She has a .com. I didn't find a Ravelry group for this, so I'm just linking her .com. So, and that's where you'll also be able to find her reviews of different things. Then there's Revelations of a Delusional Knitter, and I found her because she sent me her Ravelry group link, and I'm like, oh, cool. And she's actually has some of them on iTunes, so it was, I downloaded them all and, I marathoned her. I think that's when I actually knitted on my sweater. But she's a 911 dispatcher, so it, she tells you some little crazy stories and, so I love that. But of course I love the crazy, so it's my degree, so she has a really good podcast and, shows different things she's knitting, and she's a designer, she's a dyer. When she has time to do all this with all that she does, it just blows my mind. She must not sleep.
Yeah, there you
go. That's the thing. She doesn't sleep. To have a full-time job and designing, shawls and, dyeing yarn and...
Yeah. Well, I know you had mentioned a couple of the things that she was talking about when we're heading down to Fuji's appointment.
Yeah. So, we're talking about you. And the next podcast, there's 4 this week, is called Twisted Stitcher Podcast. And this is with Ashley. She's Carolina Spinner on Ravelry. And I will link her podcast group because she has 2 episodes, I think it is, 2 or 3, 2. Hey, I've listened to 4 new ones this week, not counting all my regulars.
You don't memorize all this?
I don't know. And she is doing a Kickstarter I'm trying to find that. Where the heck did I put that pit? There it is. She's doing a Kickstarter for her dyeing. It's called Twist Fiber Studio. And she's actually donating a skein of yarn and it's in the amethyst colorway for our group. She's going to be sending, I have a picture of it though, so I can show you. And once I get it, we'll put up a thread. Isn't that gorgeous? We'll put up a thread in order to, give this away. But she, I'm assuming she's a business accounting student. So she's doing this all through her schooling, and she's gotten a grant from her school in order to start this. They've given her an office and all the supplies. I mean, she is going all out for this, and she has, the Kickstarter has, I know I have a picture of that too. It's not showing me. She's done. Let me breathe. She has different bags. I know they're here. I didn't want to forget these other people's. Starting October 1st to October 31st is the Kickstarter with rewards and limited edition paired projects. So she's gone and paired yarn fiber to bag fabric. So she has bags, and when you go to her Kickstarter, you can, there's different incentives in order to back her. She's already made.
She's already got
within
her goal, right?
2 days, met her goal. I'm sure, I don't know how Kickstarters works. I don't know if you can still support her. I'm assuming you can.
But...
She'll take all your money if you want. You give it to her. But it's very cool to see, with all her hard work that she's been doing and promoting, that she's like going to town on this. Yeah. But they're beautiful, and in her Ravelry group you can, see more of this. It moved. But you see she has different bags And if you watch her podcast, she goes, one week she shows 5 of them, so you can really see more detail. And she describes, the colors, but you can see the bag, and she's pulled the colors from it for the yarn. So it's a very neat concept, too, that, she's taking in order to start this. So it'll be fun when you watch her podcast to see, her starting this from the ground and seeing it progress, so.
Awesome.
And it's nice that you get to see yarns that she's already dyed, yarn and fiber, whereas some of the Kickstarters I've seen, they just give me money and you don't see anything they're doing.
Yeah.
So, so pretty neat. Go give her a watch, and she goes into full detail about this, and so it's pretty exciting though. So
cool.
And I'm gonna get this back to where I was, so I didn't want to forget. So go give them a watch. Well, everybody's getting sick too, with the weather changing, and kids bringing home the rum puckaroo. So if you're sick in bed, here's some new podcasts to watch.
Spreading germs, and while you're recuperating, you got more podcasts to watch.
Homeschool. Well, even with the homeschool, they have the groups that you still get the kids together and share the germs.
It's a way to look at it.
Yeah, it's true though. Every time we win, we get sick. I know though. I'm getting the nudge. So, where are we? I already talked about our designer along. I did want to go in and mention our enabling thread, because I forgot last week. And Scrapping D. She's Cupcake Yarns. She should change her name to Cupcake Yarns, because I can say that so much better. She has a Halloween kit, and it comes with, bag, stitch markers, and candy corn striping yarn. Look at that. And she's done amazing photos on this, so I thought that was really cool.
Anything candy corn is
I know.
a thumbs up.
Yeah.
So.
I wish I could buy all of this stuff, but, everything goes for Fuji, so. And then Dramatic Knits, Leading Fiber Arts, he always sticks in, so this is something to be aware of. He sticks in his updates with a coupon code. So this is a good thread, because, the first one is the one to get it. And their yarn is just stunning. And then we had Studio in the Green listed some bags, and she has a code for free shipping. It's over. Never mind.
They've got bags.
I bet she's still got bags. Yeah, so go check her out. Here's Leading Men Fiber Arts again. More scrumptious drooling. I love looking at this, because they're just, the colors are amazing. Knit Pearl Girl, Sew For You. Thrown up some of her bags, and I know there's a coupon code in here. There's Twist. Bunnyfish. Boy, I am naming the same people a couple different times. She has steampunk inspired kits, and they're through Marigold Gin's Etsy shop. She has this linked in the thread. And a cog in the machine. It's a semicircular shawl. And there's also mechanical bell, and they're lace cuffed socks. So both patterns feature eyelets and texture. So really cool. So the links are here, so you can go check those out. I haven't used Marigold Gin yet, but that is really pretty. So that was exciting. I got excited when I saw that posted up. Two Guys Yarn Company has progressive discounts, where if you spend $25, you get $5 off, and they have the codes here. And that's through November 1st. So that's a really cool.
Cool.
Yeah, and then Caterpillar. Ooh, she had an update. Look at the candy corn stitch markers. So really cool.
See, the fall season is in full swing.
Oh, and then these Fascination Studios, these leaf buttons that she makes. Just amazing. So it's real exciting seeing all the falls. I love fall. I love trees, so it's like, so yep. And Lady Fernico, she of the Hook and Needle podcast, they're doing a toy along. So she has a coupon code for 20% off of Talia's patterns. So you can come to the thread and check that out and participate in their knit along. And so that's always a fun thread to, I get excited seeing what people are doing.
Enabling.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because everyone needs more yarn, right?
That's right. You can never have enough.
Or more accessories to go along with it.
So our Roundup is our prizes ended because of September ending and October starting. So we had our Hatch and Knit. And that is where each month we've had this, is you put in whatever you've knitted, crocheted, weaved, whatever, finished. Doesn't have to be started during that month. And we had 2 winners for a $10 gift certificate to Wolf Farms. And we do it that way because then you can choose whatever you want. You know, we could do a soap and lotion set, but what if you didn't want that one?
You may want lip balms and cable needles.
Cable needles. So this way you get your own choice. And the 2 winners are number 85, which is Pearl of the Pacific. And she has the Knitting Pacific? Knitting just went right out of my head. You know, it has to do with, I just mentioned her the other day, last week, the week before. But she won, and she had quite a few entries in beautiful shawl and socks. And
awesome.
So, woohoo! Get in touch with me with your email so I can mail that out, your gift certificate. And the second winner was number 67, which is Anansi. And it's another podcaster. She has the Mailtran Design podcast, so they got lucky this week, podcasters. So I'm like, woohoo! So, because I recognized them, as soon as the numbers came up, and I'm like,
cool.
Yay, I know you.
They just need to get in touch with you and
with their emails.
Send over their gift certificate. Yep.
And then our designer along with doing Lauren McMorty Limnit Crochet's patterns. You did her patterns. The winner for that, I'm getting the knee grab. We're getting more than just the nudge now.
Patting the leg there.
The winner for that was number 13, which is Cross Nooker, and that is Barbara. And so you're the winner. I will gift you one of Lauren's patterns. If you have all her patterns, then I'll gift you another pattern. So
awesome.
So then we had the cable needle giveaway, and that's where you entered, ideas, suggestions, and
that thread's still open, right?
No.
Or do you close that?
Closed it.
Oh, okay. We should open it back up just so we can get other threads. But so who's the winner of that one?
That was number 84, which is CDS Gifts, and that is Penny.
Oh, okay, and she will get one of our cable needles. So get in touch with Dawn. Let her know where we will be mailing it off. We'll get it out in the mail to you.
So
thanks everyone who has participated in the cable needle thread, because there's a lot of good suggestions that came in and whatnot. Appreciate that, and hopefully you had fun too, kind of thinking through what would be good. Yeah.
And I know we've been asked to open a thread, and you guys, this is your group, it's not just, don't ask,
just open a thread.
Just open a thread, if you want to start a conversation. But we have been asked to start a question and answer thread, where we can answer your question, when we podcast, and but we're trying to think of a name. Yeah. It's got to do, farm happenings in the coop, flown the coop, to match our...
We've been bouncing ideas back and forth. Maybe you guys have some thoughts
Nothing has just clicked yet. So if you have an idea, put it in this week's thread. And
yeah, well, that would be good. And then maybe you'll be titling our next new, conversation in the Wolf Farm group.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I want to thank for new iTunes reviews. That's always fun to get and read. And
we've got a couple of those, so we appreciate those. Are we wrapping things up?
I think I'm done. I'm
All
done.
right,
I'm
all
just
right.
turning off.
All right, well, like I mentioned every week, you can get a free Wolf Farm video podcast button with any paid order at Wolf Farms. Just put in the comments section during checkout that you'd like one. We'd be happy to stick that in the package when we're mailing that off to you. And I think that about wraps things up for this episode.
Yeah. So, until next time,
Let's get cracking
and
hatching
hatching
it. Bye, y'all.